Welcome back to the garden, everybody. Just going to do a tour of July in Tropical Glos. So sit back, enjoy. So we'll start this side today. Here's Hedychium gardneranium, grown in a pot. Only had one shoot last year, and now look at it. It's a beast. I had to strap it up against the drain pipe there because it's just too leany. So fingers crossed, should get a nice display of flowers. And then there's the Cyphomandra and the Solan quituense and the rescued Yucca, which I think is either Adam's Needle or Gloriosa variegated. Any experts out there know the difference between the two? Just let me know if you could. That'd be great. So this is the more shady spot. So I've got some plants which are just kind of hardening off. So we have a look down here. There's an acacia, lovely little tree. Hopefully that'll grow. And then Cassonia spicata. Absolutely stunning leaves on it. Beautiful. Let's move them out of the way. Little Schefflera taiwaniana growing on in a pot there. And then a good growing Schefflera alpina, which is a really, it's my favourite Schefflera. I don't know why. Begonia luxurians. And then this wonderful Livingstoner chinensis. Beautiful palm. Don't really know much about growing these outside, so he's in quite a shady spot and he seems to be loving it. So, and there's a monstera just tucked in at the back there. So we come around, lots of plants hardening off and getting ready, Saramatums and some bromeliads in there, and grasses and begonias. There's a potted up pink china there. So we walk around a bit. This loquat, I gave up on this nearly. I thought I'm going to get rid of this loquat because it's not really doing a lot. When I got it, it was like a 3-inch, 4-inch sapling, but now look at it. It's forking. It's really growing. I think it's because I've also changed compost. You know, it's quite loyal to a compost until I bought another bag of a different type, and it's just improved everything dramatically. Canna's starting to flower there. I don't know which variety. Hostas, flowers are finishing there. A division of Philostachys soilsulcata aureocolis there, pushing up some new culms. It's always nice to see. And then this thing just keeps flushing. Staphnophyllum macropodum. So this will be sizing up in no time. And there's the Princeps, just taking along nicely. And my lovely Bootia. Dahlias, well, it hasn't really pushed out much. I don't know whether I'm not feeding it enough. I mean, it is in a pot, so I'm not expecting loads, but there's loads of buds on there and they just don't seem to develop into anything, which is a shame. A Yucca rostrata there. That was a 7-centimetre plant earlier this year, potted up, and he's growing really well. And then a Yucca filamentosa. So lots of stuff growing on in pots. Here is bizarrest Euphorbia minus Merlot. This thing has just not stopped flowering. All the other mahonias, euphorbias, have stopped flowering. I don't know why this one hasn't. But the bees seem to like it. And that phormium is growing really well. And so is the Abelia grandiflora. Just letting it do what it wants there. Running through things, poking up through different places. And then this thing, Saramatum venosum, which I thought I got my bulbs mixed up, my corms. So I thought this was going to be an Amorphophallus bulbifer, but it wasn't. It's still beautiful though. Just look at the stem on it. It's a stunning plant. Hasn't flowered yet. And as you can see, there's loads of little ones dotted around all over the place in here. So if they ever do flower, my kitchen's right behind me, so it's going to be quite potent. Fighting like a boom, just a ridiculous plant. Kind of like it here now. I mean, it's given a good separation and given that, you know, you can't see the rest of the garden behind it. But yeah, it's interesting, but I don't know whether I'd grow it again in this spot. And then the Alstroemelia, Indian Summer, just a beautiful plant. Flowers, you can't get much more tropical looking flowers than that, really. And in there somewhere tucked in behind, you can see there's another Cossonia spicata. I was hoping it was going to be right above these Alstroemerias, but no. And there is my favourite canna, that is your Canna Thai Smoky Flame. And then the Canna Cleopatra behind that has just finished flowering. But look at these wonderful Crocosmia. They are beautiful. And dahlias, Persicaria. This one is Virginiana. And a lovely Shamrops Volcano. So these Crocosmias are, I just don't know which variety they are, but they are beautiful. A lovely bright orange colour. And then Solanum lacinatum, looking glorious as ever. Very tall now, next to the Philostachys Aureosulcata spectabilis. So some daylilies now, as I said in previous videos, if you haven't watched them. Lots of bare roots went in this year, and by all accounts they don't flower on the first year when they're bare root, so yeah, no daylilies from these ones, just lots of grass-like stuff. Anostriatula, Bestumeria, Flamingo Glow, really nice. And this has turned into a bit of a shady part of the border thanks to the Phytolacca and the Solanum, which is good because this was a tiny weedy little Mahonia Sweet Winter, and I don't know what it is, but all of my Mahonias, they do a flush in spring and then they try to do a second flush and just doesn't happen, which is really bizarre. I don't know why. Maybe, does anybody know? I mean, it doesn't matter about positioning because this one's shady. I've got one which is in sun, and they all do the same. Lovely Brunnera there. So there's another Euphorbia minus Merlot, and that one hasn't done what that one was doing. A little waggy there. And a Shamrock, which seems to be loving the spot because it's just pushing out frond after frond after frond. And then we have the battle of the Alocasias and Colocasias. So the pink Chinas are doing really well in this spot. I think it's because the greenhouse, well, not that it's rained much, but it drips into that spot. So it's kind of boggy. And they're both just fighting for space there. So the pink Chinas versus the Alocasia Regal Shields. And then tucked in there is a little Schefflera Taiwaniana. One day he'll poke through. What I'm hoping is, I don't know how good my vision is here, but that this cordyline will eventually grow right up. Grow faster than that, so that will always be underneath it. And there's another Schefflera alpina there with more Colocasias popping up everywhere next to the Strobilanthes. And then in there's Decanasia Vargisii, which is a good, lovely, well, it's just a good spreading plant, a nice little filler. It's quite sized up quite a bit in there, but you can't see it very much. And there's a happy little bee just buzzing about. I'll focus on him. There he is. Just doing what bees do. So again, another deformity deformed leaves turns into good leaves. So Fatsia polycarpa, flushed in spring, no problems at all, lovely flush. Second flush, all deformed, shriveled up, and then another flush just happening, and as you can see, they seem to be coming out a bit more perfect again. Bizarre. So Canna musifolia is now poking up through, nice and high. And Brugmansia, again in another battle with another Solanum lacinatum, which I don't mind. Things need to fight for space, it's natural order. But yeah, there's no signs of it flowering yet, can't see any flower buds on it. This Trachycarpus fortunei is doing really well, pushing out some warping leaves. And Crocosmias, bit of a theme with the Crocosmias running through. There's lots of stuff. One day I'll do what's in behind in that, get all in there. There's lots of stuff in there. Just not today. Borinda, Paporifera with riceness, and another Canna Thai smoky flame. And the Canna Russian red is in bloom behind everything. So that's a good view for my neighbours, not that I can see it very much. Take a step back now to just take in this enormous leaves, enormous leaves from everything in this corner. So you've got in here your Ensete, Ventricosum morellii, and your Musa Bastiu, obviously. There's a big division of Oriole sulcata, Oreocolis again at the back. And these pink chinas in this corner are just immense. Huge leaves, standing about 5 foot tall now. So yeah, so you can still get some very big, don't knock the pink chinas. Everybody likes these fancy colocasias, but your bog standard, hardy as bullets, pink chinas, duffel plants. And there is the Tetrapanax rex, just trying to find some space in there. I expect over time it will sort itself out. It's just not really living up to its massive standard it should. Ricinus, more Canna musifolia, Salvia amistad blowing in the wind there, and some more Solanum. So repeat planting is key, and it's easy to do with annuals and perennials, like some more Phytolacca boom there next to the Echium. It's very easy to do, to just repeat plant. It just ties everything in together. So you can have lots of different statement plants like the Yucca gloriosa, and like your Strobilanthes, etc. But then the repeat planter just ties everything in together. That's my favourite. Waggy, really nice, kicking out loads of leaves, as always. So a bit of a battle going on here as well. This is a Persicaria orientalis. And behind there, it seems to have beaten out a Sorbaria, which is unusual because they're both kind of thugs. Sorbaria seems to be, if you look in the stem down here, it seems to be trying to grow back. But yeah. And then a Nandina obsessed. So, will it, won't it? The big question. It's been teasing me. There's a big cone on it now, but I don't know whether it will flush. We shall see. More Crocosmia, more pink chinas, and the Musafella lasiocarpa. Musafella does sound quite good though. The Gunnera, it's not huge leaves this year, bigger than last year. I'm expecting some good growth next year. And then this wind damaged Canna Russian red. Flower spike got damaged in the wind, but it does look stunning like that. It's very bizarre. And then look at this. This is the Philostachys nigra, and this is the new culms coming up. No signs of flowering yet, but they're not exactly massive culms, so we shall see. I have some plans for this area for next year, so yeah, stay tuned. Hoping it's going to work. It doesn't mean that's going to be removed. Things are going to get moved around, but that's the whole joy of gardening, isn't it? Aurelia elata. Just such a fast growing plant. So at the beginning of the season, it was just there. See where the notch is? And it's come all the way up to here. So it's now standing about 6 foot. Beautiful. Another Cassonia spicata there. Now in this gap here, there was another load of Persicaria orientalis, but it just crowded everything out. You couldn't see anything. So I've cleaned it out, and you can see there's a Dicksonia Antarctica fern in there. It's not a tree, it's not, well, it's got a little bit of a trunk, but I'd just call it a fern. And then you've got this enormous Rus palmatum. These leaves are huge. And just a bit of everything going on. There's some Regersia in there somewhere. There's another Hedychium in a pot behind there. Polonia tomentosa is starting to do its thing now, although not massively great in height. So I wouldn't advise moving at the beginning of spring. Didn't seem to like it. Begonia torsa. Yeah, I just love this little area here. Very woodlandy. Xanthodecia. Another Dicksonia at the back there, just filling space. There's a leatherleaf viburnum at the back. A Nandina fighting with a Begonia Santa Cruz. And then the Strobilanthes Mastersii in a pot, but I just thought, a bit of shade. I saw Mike Clifford's photo and his immaculate one on Instagram. It's just, I thought, mine doesn't look like that. So yeah, must have better conditions than I do, that's for sure. But it does seem to like it there. And you know, grown in shade, you get a bit more rounded leaves, it seems. Look at this beautiful Tetrapanax. It is just a stunning plant. From all angles, it just looks absolutely amazing. Lots of height. I'd say top of the leaves there now, probably 7.5 feet. So if there was a pathway there, you could quite easily walk up underneath them, but not today. No path, just a jungle. Camarops, another Cassonia spicata. See, these aren't hardy. They aren't going to survive out here. So I'm going to try them in the heated greenhouse. I'll try one inside because that's where they grew them in seed. And this little section is another beautiful little section. So let's go through it a bit, shall we? So at the back there we've got lots of Dryopteris, different Dryopteris, Atratus and Affinis. Another Trachycarpus fortunei. There's a Photinia grown at the back there. This is all kind of the same height, so I'm hoping something's going to happen because it's very samey at the moment. I'm hoping that this Fatsia will shoot up, or the John Phillips. But the John Phillips is a beautiful plant. And then in this space we have the Fatsia polycarpa. Again, the same issue with the leaves, with the flush. Pulmonaria. Not really a tropical plant, but it just fits in lovely there next to the Pilea insolens and the Pilea taiwaniana. There's a blackened fern underneath there. Bohemeria tricuspid. So there's lots in here. As you can see, the begonia, bells and whistles, has pushed out even more leaves. It just ties in very nicely with the pulmonaria there. And then tucked in down here, you can see them in there, but there is a begonia, I think it's dark side of the moon. So I didn't buy one last year because everybody's saying, are they hardy, are they not? And I wasn't going to spend money on a plant that wasn't hardy. So I waited till everybody reported their successes, and then we kind of bought one from there. Another Mahonia, sweet winter this one. So you can see weird leaves, stunted growth from the flush, and it looks like the growing point in here isn't the healthiest. So yeah, weird. Anybody else experiencing them? So there you go. Let's do some panning vista shots now, so you can get grip of the whole garden. We'll get to see it. Before I do that, the Roost Typhina really taking up space now, adding a good wind block, and that was the idea behind this roofer here and the Typhina, is just to give everything a little bit of shelter, especially these more tender ones here, because we are in a bit of a wind tunnel. This is Tropical Glos, and I just love this little walkway through here. So I come round, and then I've got a little clearing in here. So the idea is I want to get a table, one of those round tables and 2 chairs that I can alternate with a fire pit in here. And I've got a little jungle clearing. And bear in mind, this garden is not big at all. I just crammed in as much as I could, just to make it as beautiful as I can for me. So that's the thing about gardening. It's for you. It's for your own personal enjoyment. It's what makes you feel happy. It's the plants that make you feel good. There is no strict form to follow. There are no rules to follow. Do what you want. If you want to plant there, plant it there.